Hey guys, welcome back with another video with Linksy. Today we have another discussion video really. It's a discussion about the political system in Rome. Now for those of you who watch my live streams, this is the campaign that I did, the campaign challenge that I did. 20 turns Rome on legendary just using Autoresolve and auxiliary infantry. This is basically I got this idea from Spiffing Brett, I keep mentioning it, and it's one of those campaigns that was just absolutely insane. We're in turn 35? I believe it is turn 35. Yeah, turn 35, and we just basically went ham. We captured most of Carthage's territories. We have captured all of our land. It seems that Massacelia has grown a lot down here. So yeah, so what's the discussion about today? Well, it's about the political system in Rome, and we're going to discuss basically on how to manage the political system. Again, this is important for you guys to note. I'm still learning this because this shit is complicated. And I say it's complicated because mainly of these. There isn't a guide online on how actually to deal with them. They cost money, and they each just do all these weird ways. Now, simply put, the simplest way of controlling your political situation is to make your families happy. And to keep your families happy, you need to... Oh, what did I do? Doesn't matter. You need... Oh yeah, I clicked that. You need to secure loyalty. Right? Now, you see this little number here? That's the loyalty breakdown. That's -4. Why? It's on legendary difficulty, so it's -25 loyalty. And then every time your general wins, or a general from that family wins, they get loyalty points. They get loyalty points from your current tech or imperium level. They get loyalty points from promoting, and we'll get to that later. You lose loyalty points according to which government, and we'll get to that as well, and political actions taken. So political actions are those actions that you get those prop-up events saying, oh, your enemies have been meeting up in secret, what do you want to do? You can go meet them, you can go kill them, whatever. Each one of those does something different. And what you need to look at as well is, of course, how many regions each of them control, and which regions, and the influence they control is also very important. So if you look at this, we are House of Cornelia. We control 42% of the senators, 212 senators. House of Julia control 23%, House of Junia 17, and House of Papira control 18. And this is in a republic. Now, interestingly enough, in the Roman faction, you only have two options. You have the Republic and the Empire. In other factions, you have also the aristocratic method, such as Sparta. But it all works the same. So you have the Republic, where you get more research, you lose some loyalty, you have more public order per province, and it allows you to do the general actions of political actions towards other parties. Now, if you look at this one, this is the basic one, this is what you start with, and eventually you want to go to Empire. Now, to get to Empire, you need a large Empire, you need Imperium level 5, you need to have 65% of influence of the entire Empire, and you need to have positive loyalty. It will cost you 10,000 gold, and it's going to cost you 3 turns of absolute chaos. You're going to have basically rebellion in every single state you have, in every single province. Your armies are going to go crazy, but it does give you 15 loyalty for all political parties, and that is insane. Essentially, you're getting 25 loyalty for all political parties in one go, as well as extra recruitment, which is insanely important for Rome, as you will be fighting on multiple angles. The edict is also good, but it's not game breaking as the others. Now, keep in mind that the more influence you get, and this influence is very important. If you don't have influence at all, you're ignored. You have no research, you have no public order -10, less tax, and morale for your armies are trash. And as you're going up, you notice that there is various different bonuses. Ideally, you're peerless, and peerless you get public order, which is, as we discussed earlier in the other video, it is so important to keep control of your areas. And +3 public order on legendary difficulty is so important. tax rate, and morale for all land units, and research rate, etc. Having 100% research rate is possible, and you can even have more, and that basically gives you really fast research and you advance faster. So it's really important to take note of all of this stuff, as well, the game just basically becomes better for you if you manage to control all of this. You have less rebellions, you have less problems. Now, looking at the characters, so this entire game is based on the characters. This was introduced in 2018, I believe, and it was introduced in a way that makes the game more interesting. Adds a layer to the game which wasn't there before. So you have your enemy families, you have nobles in your family, and this is your family tree. Now, you basically have the progenitor of the family, and then the sons. I married both of them, and to marry them we will show you in a second. They have children, and those children grow up. Unfortunately, the Gaius Cornelis Barbatus died at the age of 1. You will have random events where you will lose troops. And as you see, you have traits, and the trait for, where is it? There is dictator. Dictator trait is absolutely fantastic. It gives you a lot of bonuses for the general's army, and as long as the dictator is the heir of the family leader as well, it does help significantly. But the dictator can be also one of the other families, and that might cause you some problems because you will lose some really good power, because dictator also doesn't show you, but it also gives you a lot of gravitas per turn. And of course, now if you want your dictator to be really powerful in terms of as a role as a dictator, I believe in this one my Scipio died early on. Scipio, sorry, Scipio one. El Scipio died really early on, and so I had no option. But if you want your leader, dictator, to be really strong, you need authority, and the authority comes from the authority tree on this side. So you need to give basically you need to take to commander level, and that commander level gives you just insane control. The higher the authority, the better it is. At the moment the authority is very low. This luckily he has the authoritas perk, which is really good, and now his authority is up by 1, and that automatically nullifies the minus 25% that he was getting morale in area of effect for his leadership. He's very, very important. His gravitas is insane. Now that we have more authority, we can use little zeal, no authority. Okay, so we don't have enough. If you have enough authority, you can do this. Sometimes you can do it with much less, but of course on legendary it just goes up. I wasn't paying much attention since I've been playing on legendary on Rome, because I usually just pay them off. But if you have 7 authority or 7 zeal, zeal is this one, you can gather support, and this is really important as you need to spam this. Basically have your faction be able to spam this will get you more support over here, and the influence you gain will be at the detriment of the other families. The other families will start hating you. So how can you fix that? You can fix that by sending gifts. You can do favors, flirt if you use your female companions, but of course that causes damage. If you use a single woman, of course flirting won't cause that much damage, but it does help to reduce the gravitas of the enemy, the other factions inside your faction, the other families. Insults and provoke, all of this basically require a lot of zeal to carry out, and this zeal is useful to basically balance out the power level between the parties. It will cost you a lot of loyalty from the other parties, but it will also cost them a lot of influence and cunning, etc., etc., etc. The red tree basically started from the bottom. Actually, should have red gives you the opportunity to empower your character through connection. So if you have children, you educate them. You can declare who your heir is if you are the general up here. You can adopt into your family. Of course, you need to have stronger authority than them, stronger authority than the target zeal, but that gives you a lot of influence, especially if you don't have an heir and you want to declare who your heir is. That's really important. Usurp legacy. This is if the faction leaders controlled by someone else. Divorce, I mean, that's self-explanatory, and it will cost you a lot to do, so it's not usually advisable. People die too fast in the Grand Campaign for you to worry about divorce. But most importantly, seek spouse. So we will seek spouse for this lady over there, and she has been married to Sextus Gorgeous Bulbus. Now, Sextus Gorgeous Bulbus automatically became part of our family, and we have another noble that we can use. Actually has really, really good authority, and that will be really good as it will give us more gravitas. It will give us, you know, more power over war. He's still very young. He's 26 and she's 39, so he'll live for a long time. He is tier 2. Yeah, he has 2 lightning bolts. Forgot what those exactly do. Ambition, yeah, there you go. And now that's, you have another character, and as you can see, there is the career path, and the career path, you can take him all up to censor. Now, is it worth it to take up to censor? Yes, it is. Absolutely is. Mainly because of the 21 tax rate, the 3 public order, the 14 loyalty to whoever party belongs, and the influence. Now, since I like to use my generals and my nobles to fight the wars, that's actually really good. To fight the wars for me, I tend to leave the other families in charge of the of home. So you simply just start seeking promotion and leveling them up. And the more you do, they will give, you know, all these bonuses. It will cost you a lot of money, but as you do it, it increases exponentially. But as you can see, we just did it 3 times, and we have +9 tax rate, 3 gravitas, 6 loyalty from the party. And that's very important to keep the party happy, and -6 upkeep. And as you go, as you saw, the last one was 1,000, now it's 4,000. We're going to do it again. Again, just going up, and that's absolutely fantastic. But now it's going to cost 8,000, and it basically goes up to 16,000 after that. But he is now a praetor, and after that's consul, governor, and censor. So it basically goes over the basic functions of the intrigues and the abilities. Now, another thing one must look at is these abilities over here. These guys are really important because Galloper, for example, gives you 2 authority, and this is a really sure way of automatically increasing your character's abilities. For example, you can... doesn't seem to be a good one over here. +5 to having children, that's actually not bad. +1 zeal, morale, security. So yeah, just give him zeal, that will be good. And public order from rich presence. There you go, and give him authority. Barbarian slave guild. Okay, yeah, that's good to have. He does have an acid tempered wife, so that gives him -1 authority. And that's possibly why he was at 2 authority, because it's very rare for characters to be at less than that. Now, how do you fix this in the long term? You can start by sending gifts. It seems you cannot send gifts at this. You need positive party loyalty. That's absolutely okay. Let's do that. Yeah, so basically, as far as I know, sending gifts, favors, etc. should help. But it doesn't always work. Well, you could always secure them a promotion or get them married, and that will make them a little bit happier. Sometimes, not always. Now, another thing you can do is you can send a diplomat. You can organize games, and you can send emissaries. And leisure time, it's good. It gives your character a bit of chance for leveling up, but at the same time, these are the 3 important ones. When you send a diplomat, you send a diplomat to another faction, and we're not sending it to Carthage, just send it to the Adrii. And after a couple of turns, they come back. If your character has a decent amount of cunning, it's probably that the action will be successful and they won't betray you. And as long as you have a decent amount of authority, again, it should help not to betray you. But that does really good, as it basically makes sure that your factions that you're having problems with, it's a good way of improving alliances with, for example, in this case, the Adrii. Now, how are we with the Adrii? Our diplomacy, They don't like us that much. We are at minus 45 with them. They don't like us because of culture. They don't like us because we have a treaty with Athens. And we have a treaty with Athens because we're trading. So they don't like us because of that, and that's absolutely fine. But hopefully, if that military action is taken, political action is taken, we will be absolutely okay. Now, is it worth it to upgrade your own um, uh, career diplomats, career generals? Yes, it's good, but keep in mind you will lose loyalty from other parties. You will lose loyalty from other parties. You won't if you upload other parties, but you will lose if it's one of yours. And it's good also to have a decent amount of. This guy is actually really good as a defensive leader. You can get up to minus 30 military building construction. So this would be a good general to build as a supporting general. And this guy, religious building, Titus. It's good if you're going for an economic victory, but otherwise not so much. Now, with that said, keeping in mind, and this is the last thing, that you are going up imperium levels as you grow. The more you grow, the more problems you're going to get. You're going to have more political incidents, you're going to have more upkeep, you're going to have more corruption, and above all else, you're going to have the parties hating you, absolutely hating you. You're going to have other factions hating you, and you have public order penalties all the bloody time. So it's important that around tier level 5, the moment you get to tier level 5, you can go to an empire. I don't manage to do it all the times because, again, you can go the simple route of just paying off the parties, making them happy, just keeping them happy, keeping them satisfied by giving them money, and that's absolutely okay. That works. Just keep in mind that this risk factor might still go up, and if they hate you enough, if they have enough influence, they will fight. Now, what happens when a civil war happens or a succession happens? So the red is the territory we control, yes? And now look at this. We are House Cornelia, so we control Italia, we control part of Africa and part of Mauritania. House of Papyra control Corsica Centeria, House of Junia control Casplina, and House of Julia control Magna Graecia. If any one of those families is to rebel, you will lose those territories that they control. Let's say House of Julia. They will lose Brindisium, will lose Consentia, Syracuse, and Lilibellum. Now, apart from that, we will also lose their faction leaders. So House of Julia rebel. No, House of Julia said. So we lose Lucius Julius Libido, which is currently one of our strongest, one of our strongest armies on the front, and he has a decent auxiliary army. Not the best, but a decent one. And losing this army could obviously prove problematic, as he will start by capturing this settlement. You need to send another army to deal with him, and of course there will be armies that spawn all over this region. It's good that you'd have some armies ready and opposite that. So if you have a family leader in another settlement with no troops, just there to control the public order, and you know they're going to rebel, or you use the purge function or provoke function, which is this one, and that is only usable if they have negative party loyalty. So as the House of Papyra was just moments ago, where they were at minus, and if that happens, you automatically have a secession, and they will spawn armies and they will continue to be a nuisance. Anyway, guys, I think I covered most of it. I seem to have gone through all of my points, and yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If I did miss anything, please comment down below. Let me know if you think I should have covered something else, or there are some functions that I had no idea about and you guys want to just tell me about and teach me how to play the game, because that's entirely possible. But meanwhile, I hope you enjoy playing the game, and I hope you enjoy exploring Rome. Even though it is a 7-year-old game now, it is still providing us with endless hours of entertainment. Thanks, guys. Subscribe if you liked the video or you want to see more content like this. Like the video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, guys. See you.